I am telling you, everybody, this team, they have no quit. I was going to say they never give up, but that's the same thing as saying they don't have quit. They keep themselves in games. They do a fantastic job of doing that. They can make big plays happen when they need to. They've got that depth of scoring. And the bottom line is they just find ways of at least getting points, if not just straight up wins, as they just rattled off their seventh in a row, beating the Capitals 3-2. Um, this team is really, really special. This is these are all the things that are hallmarks of great teams, playoff teams. And we're getting to watch it in real time here with this Kraken squad. Absolutely fantastic. Incredible game. Lots of super chats going already up in there in just a second. But yeah, it's just an incredible game, gutsy game, great performance from the squad after a couple other incredible performances already from them. We'll talk about that aspect of it. Absolutely incredible. Thank you all for joining us here on ECH post game live for another ECH dance party. Love being able to say that. Like being back here in my normal base of operations. Thank you, of course, to Queen Anne Beer Hall. And just want to give a quick shout out. They're going to be doing an event here on the December 7th at 7 p.m. Deck the Hall dinner over at Queen Anne Beer Hall. I want to give them a shout out. It's a 5-course dinner, each one served with a different beer from Chainline. So that's a fun thing that they're doing. RJ will be there, and if you're interested, you can check out tickets at their website, Queen Anne Beer Hall's website. So I just want to give them a shout out about that. And yeah, this game against the Capitals. Let me shoot over here and get these super chats. To kick things off, first off, we got Beef, Studs, Yanni with the scrap and equalizer, Grew with the saves, Maddie with the ice cold 5-hole winner, Duds, Ovi chasing slot shots and getting a big old donut for his trouble. I mean, this is fortunately, unfortunately, this is what the Capitals have just kind of turned into these last couple of years, is just this team that's trying to force an Ovechkin one-timer at any given point in time. The supporting cast around him has really dwindled over the years too, and they just, did they not look like the definition of a 500 hockey team? Like I was not surprised at all when I saw their record and they were basically 500, because looking at them on the ice, they just looked like a 500 group. And then, yeah, Yanni, tonight was Yanni's night. I think, I know Maddie gets that game winner, but I think Yanni deserves to be first star in this one. He just always had the energy. I'm telling you, he must have been mic'd up for this game, because he was chirping. He was out there creating things. He gets into that fight with TJ Oshie in the first period. It would not surprise me at all if we get a Yanni Gourde mic'd up little montage later on from the NHL. Because he was clearly feeling it. This was definitely his night. Maddie extends his point streak and his hot start, gets that game-winning goal in overtime. That's another thing that can be added to his Calder resume for this season. Picking up game winners in overtime will certainly help out that campaign. I believe that makes it 10 on the year for him as well. Yes, it does. So reaches that double-digit goal marker. That's really important. And then, yeah, Grew looked really, really solid. That first goal, little easy. We all know that one. But made some big time saves, huge saves in there to keep the team in it, keep that Capitals lead at only 2 at the beginning there, because if that lead in that second period, or even at the end of the first period, gets to be 3 goals or more, I don't know. Kraken early on didn't look like they were going to have the legs to be able to come back from a 3-goal deficit. So Grubauer came up huge, kept the team in it all the way through to the end. That's what good goaltenders do. They put their team in a chance to win games, and that's what he did tonight. So love those studs and duds from Beef there. Also had a super chat from CR Bud. Matty ices it 7 seconds in, number 7. Let's go. I mean, sorry to anyone who was like going to the bathroom during that break, trying to get that in, or trying to go get like a refill on food or drink or something before overtime, because you probably missed it. But Matty Beniers with the absolute incredible performance there to pick up that puck. Great job by Burakovsky tying up the Capital defender there. both going for the puck, so it's not interference or anything. It's just a good play by a really solid veteran in Burakovsky. Matty Beniers putting himself in a position to capitalize. He did that a couple times tonight. You know, I saw there was talk on like the Discord of like, oh, Matty whiffed on this shot, whiffed on the whatever. And, you know, yes, he struggled. He looked still fatigued after that Kings game and maybe even after the Vegas game. But the bottom line is he always puts himself in situations where he can make a play. And so, you know, you can't whiff on a really good shot if you're not in a position to have that really good look to begin with, right? And so I would still take those opportunities, and we saw it there with that game-winning goal in overtime. He put himself in a position where he could go and make a play, and then he made a play. I was talking in Discord, if you were in that game chat with us, the Kraken were doing their normal thing. They were trying to shoot far side all the time, so often, far stick side, far stick side, far stick side, all throughout this game. And I was like, look, the 5-hole, like, let's try something different. Look at the 5-hole. Like, I really felt like that 5-hole was there tonight. And then sure enough, where does Matty score that goal? It's in the 5-hole. Like, I think the Kraken need to get used to that, because even if they make saves, you get rebounds. And as we saw with the Yanni Gord tying goal, what happens when you get rebounds? You get goals. I mean, that's essentially what also happened with the Jaden Schwartz goal, right? That was a power play goal. Vince Dunn moves to the center of the ice, shot the puck. That's something we've all been wanting more from him. Shot goes wide, but bounces off the end boards right out to Jaden Schwartz. He's able to get a goal off of it. That's what it's all about. You can't always just pick your spot and beat a goaltender clean. Like, it's awesome when you can do that, but a lot of scoring in the NHL is built around being able to generate chances for yourself, being able to get rebounds, and just being able to kind of outwork your opponent in that regard. And that was everything tonight for the Kraken. So big props to the team for that. Yeah, just absolutely incredible performance from them there. And then, you know, Vegas also lost today. Not to be lost at everything. Vegas also lost in regulation today. Just gonna throw that one out there as well. All the freakouts for Matty Beniers at the top of chat. Absolutely love seeing it. Also love seeing the Grues. Feels good to be able to do that again, doesn't it, everybody? Pacific Division points percentage leading Seattle Kraken. I'm seeing here from Michael. Let me see. Is that true? Have we hit that same part? Because I know Vegas has some games in hand, but yeah, 717 points percentage for Seattle Kraken. Wow. Like, we knew this team was going to be better. We were hoping we'd be competitive for a playoff spot. Did not think that we were going to lead the Western Conference in points percentage 23 games into the season. Absolutely incredible. This squad is so special. This team is so fantastic. As Al puts in here, team is on fire. Team's on fire. Matty Beniers is on fire. Lots of guys. German gentleman reigns again from Medeiros there. He's been playing super well. He looks fantastic right now. Like, this team is so solid. I absolutely loved it. Jeremiah, Caps played 30 minutes and then just stopped playing. Total microcosm of their entire season. It's what it seems like. Yes, it really did, watching them. Kraken learning from the Mariners. Chaos ball is turning into chaos hockey from Michael. I'm here for it. Like I said, that's how you can, like, kind of consistently keep yourself in games and consistently pick up goals. You know what I mean? If you're playing against a team in this one where they get up a lead and then they're like, okay, let's just try to shut things down defensively and let's try to sit on a lead for over half a game. It's never a great strategy in the NHL, and the Capitals found that out tonight. But that's one of the ways of breaking through that is, you know, nobody can defend the chaos that ensues in front of the net when you get a rebound. It's impossible. And so I love when the Kraken go for that, and they get that stuff going. All right, couple more super chats here. First one from Seth. Only 2 points behind Vegas. Good, clean win. Exactly. Only 2 points behind Vegas, and we've got 2 games in hand on Vegas. Like, this, everything right now is going the Kraken's way. Definitely want to celebrate it. You never know how long it'll last in the NHL. Obviously, I don't think anything, you know, drastic is going to happen, but everything is just falling in the right places for Seattle right now. They're able to win these games in a variety of different ways. Very different game than the last game. Very different game from the Vegas game, right? Playing from behind in this one, scoring late to tie it up, picking up that OT winner again. I mean, boy, this team in overtime looks unstoppable. Just got to get into 3-on-3 situations. See if we can get that going for, you know, the playoffs or something, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, Absolutely fantastic. This team is so, so good. And then the other super chat here from Brian. Thank you both so much for these super chats. You can't win in the first period and will never win when you quit. There is zero quit on this Squid squad. Tough times don't last, but tough teams do. That's a fantastic super chat message right there, Brian. And I think you hit the nail right there on the head. You can't win in the first period. Absolutely. There are always going to be two periods that follow that first period. Got to be able to make those adjustments. That's been one of the hallmarks for this team. Make those adjustments, improve, get ready for the next one. Just keep yourself in it early on if you have to. And then the zero quit. I mean, that goes back to even some of those brutal games at the beginning of the season. The 5-1 Vegas loss or the 5-1 Carolina loss, right? Like you could see the flashes of like, hey, that's the team wasn't giving up. They hadn't quite figured out what it was that they needed to be doing in games like that, but they knew that they needed a certain effort level, and that effort level was there for them. And it really, really excited to see that continue throughout the season, and excited to see that it's paying off for them now too. Because there's nothing worse than playing your heart out night after night and then not getting results. This team is getting results totally, and I'm just so, so happy for them. I really am. They deserve it, and you know the Kraken fan base deserves it too. They really do. So happy for all of us tonight that we get to celebrate another win, 7 in a row, guys. 7. Did you ever think last year we'd see 7-game win streak? Come on, this is absolutely awesome. Sean with some studs. Got Grubauer, German gentleman there, Beniers, and Gord. I think those are going to be everybody's studs tonight. I think those are the perfect 3 studs. Um, Absolutely awesome. The Sandpipes. Beniers gets his first NHL penalty and makes up for it by scoring the game winner. Yes, that was a big, big deal. First career penalty for Matty Beniers. We all got to see it. Goes for that stick lift on Mantha, and Mantha clearly did not have a good grip on his stick because that thing went flying almost higher than I've ever seen a stick go. So interesting situation there. But yes, and then to like I said, get that game winner, get that overtime winner, help that Calder campaign that really matters. I know there's lots of news around that so far today, but really, really appreciate that. And happy for him. Stratic reminding everybody to like the stream. That's right, like the stream. Got 111 people in here tonight already. That's pretty good. But we've been really pushing for more and more these last couple streams, and we've been getting it. So yes, if everybody could like the stream, get more people in here, that would be awesome. Beniers better than McDavid confirmed from Rory in here. That's definitely saying something right there. Michael, lots of superstars in this league didn't have as good a start to their career as Matty, Calder, Beniers. Agreed. I mean, he's absolutely killing it. He's, for his career now. I don't know that his stats page is going to be updated, but I can probably do basic math. And longtime listeners know that that's probably a lie as well. Yeah, so far this season, 23 games played, 21 points. So only 2 points off a point per game pace, excuse me. And then for his career, only 3 points off. To be able to do that at 19-20 now for him is astonishing. So few people have been able to do that. You look at players like Steven Stamkos. I'm trying to remember if Patrick Kane was one of them, but a lot of the top players in the league now, they started their career with kind of you certainly less than a point per game pace, and then they worked up to that, and they might be point per game players now, but that's only because they exceeded a point per game pace later on in their career. Not everybody's able to come in and do what Matty Beniers is doing, and for him to be able to do this so consistently, and really through most of the season he wasn't either, right? He's got coming into this one 11 points in his last 5 games. It just shows the NHL game is starting to slow down for him. He's starting to feel comfortable out there. He's understanding what he needs to do to get into scoring position. He understands what he needs to be able to do to set up his teammates, how to draw defenders away from them so that they can get open. He can pass them the puck and get them in the best position to score a goal. All that stuff just comes with time, and it comes with game reps. And we're seeing that those game reps and that time, it's already paying off for him because he is just that smart and that skilled of a hockey player. And I'm so happy to watch how this kid develops. And then Shane Wright too, when he starts coming back, that's going to be something we'll talk about, I'm sure, at some point here. Let's see. That's Kraken hockey, baby. 7-game win streak from Lindsay for sure. All the Maddie for Calder stuff in here. The coming for Vegas from Mike McBob. Love to see that one. Um, Michael, now what, 5-3 in overtime? That's a good question. I don't know that I'll be able to pull that up while I'm on here solo, but they have not lost an overtime game from that one where they looked pretty bad in overtime. Was that the one against Winnipeg, I believe, was that overtime game, and then they spent the next couple days working on 5-on-3 overtime, and it is that's it. Like the 3-on-3 overtime, and they have not lost an overtime game since then. So this team, I think we can safely say, they're road warriors, and they're what, OT killers. Like what sort of nickname can we come up with for them being so good in overtime? Tyler, Kraken are now 5-0-1 when I'm at a game this season. I'm going to more now. Go for it, Tyler. Happy that you're getting that experience. And then, yes, if it's helping out the Kraken, you absolutely got to do it. Um, Credit Gruby for this win. This is from Kraken Hawk. Credit Gruby for this win. He kept the team in the game and gave the boys a chance to get going and keep pressing. Another great win. Keep it going. I'll say it again. Good goaltenders keep their team in games. They put them in positions to win games. That's 1,000% what Philip Grubauer did tonight for everybody. Absolutely love it. Got another super chat here. Got to scroll down. Absurdly saying, my turn to cover Afra treats. Oh, you hear that, Afra? Come here. Come here. Can you get up? She just got settled in her bed under my desk, so might take her a second to get up here, but we will definitely get Afra her treats. Thank you, Absurdly saying, for that. Definitely both appreciate that one. Yeah, there was so much in this one. Talk on Twitter, talk on Discord earlier on about the idea of, was the team maybe tired? They looked a little slow at times. I felt like the Kraken tonight, they were getting outskated by Washington. They didn't look as sharp as they normally do. And lots of talk about, obviously after that insane game against LA, they looked very, very tired afterwards, as you would expect. That was just a back and forth, crazy goal scoring palooza kind of a game. But I also think that there was probably still some leftover emotional fatigue from the Vegas game, and how big that was for them to step up and get out to an early lead. Vegas is able to tie it, and you just survive to get to the end of the first period. But then, you know what? You go out there and you shut things down and you beat that team that is constantly beating you. You get that win as the younger sibling, so to speak, over your older sibling for that first time. And a lot of times in sports, any sport, right? When you see a team focus so much on one game and really give it their all to get that big huge win, you'll see them then struggle those next couple games after maybe they lose to a team that normally they wouldn't lose to, or something like that. And I do wonder if that there's been a little bit of emotional fatigue from that Vegas game, both in that Kings game and letting the Kings get back into it, and just how that game devolved into something, whatever it is that you want to call it. And then also tonight, with just not totally being there for the start of this game, not totally being there even for the start of the second period, but then finding your legs through it. And I want to give credit to the coaching staff and the player leadership group too, for being able to be like, hey, we can still win this game. Philip Grubauer keeping them in that game. I'm sure he was telling them in those intermissions, like, hey, I'm keeping us in this. You guys got to just, it's time for you to hold up your end of the bargain, so to speak. Right. And for them to come out and get the win like this, it really speaks a lot about them, that they can, start a game a little slow, a little sluggish. They can be tired. They can be emotionally drained. And you know what? Over the course of a 60-minute hockey game, they're not going to stay that way. They're going to make sure that they're there for each other. They're not going to let each other down. They're not going to let down Philip Grubauer when he has a good performance like tonight. And that really means a lot. And that's just another thing that I point to, and I just go, that's what good teams do. That's what good cultures do, and that's what good teams do. And really, really happy that we're seeing these things from the Seattle Kraken this year, because it was hard to see some of that stuff last season. But we're getting in spades this year. That is for sure. Come on, Afra, you want some treats? Come here. You want treats? Come on, hop up. You know what to do. SJ Benier's just embarrassed a cup-winning goalie. I'll tell you that's one for the highlight reel when you're going for the Calder. You need those big moments. You need those big highlights. Come on, Afra, up here. Come on. Baby's first penalty and baby's and first overtime win, game winning goal from Absurdly Saying there. I know it's so good. Yeah, only 2 points behind Vegas now, and that's really exciting. And then yeah, Blaze King Gaming in here. This team is special, man. It is very special. This team is totally special. Sandpipes, I feel like this was the first time the Kraken had all 3 stars in a game, Maddie, Grew, and Yanni. I agree with that. I don't know that I would give it one to anybody on the Capitals. I know it was an overtime game, so you can, you want to give the visiting team something there. But I don't know, that those 3 guys all were so massive in this game, and their presence was so felt. Can you get into frame? Can you get into frame? Dog Scoy with the game winning treats. Get you in there. There we go. Good girl. Thank you, Absurdly Sayed, for that super chat. I'll give her some more here in a second. Props for this is from Tammy. Props to Grew for not getting rattled and killing it in periods 2 and 3. 1000%. He had to make some big time saves coming off of odd man rush chances or some great puck movement that the Capitals had going there in those later periods. Where do I have to go? There we go. Come get him here. There you go. There you go. There you go. Yeah, no, I'm totally 1000% agree with you there, Tammy. Ty, I was kind of looking forward to some 3-on-3 lol. I know, but you know what? I'll take this any day of the week. Just get it done quick. If it means you're getting the win, I will go for that. We don't always need the extra hockey. It's fine. From Ferris, gritty performance kept the game close and put on the pressure. Back to Kraken hockey. For sure. Like, that has been Kraken hockey, is you don't give up, you never say die, right? Like, they're like the Goonies or something. And it's just really, really fun to watch, and it's so easy to root for that team. You can support a team like that. It's so important when you're building out a fan base. I mean, obviously the Kraken already have a fantastic fan base, as I'm looking at 138 people in here for post game live. Absolutely awesome. Thank you all so much for being here. But that's only representing a small part of the larger Kraken fan base. And when you have a team that plays like this, that doesn't give up, that grinds out games, that's always trying, especially in home games like tonight, they're always trying to get that win for their fans. They always want people to be leaving that building with a smile on their face and feeling like they were just at a good hockey game. That is so special. Not just the fact that you're winning games, but that you can build that relationship. That's the stuff that really builds fan bases. That's the stuff that if you happen to be in the building for one of those games, it turns you into a fan for life. And you're going to, maybe on the way out, stop at the lair and pick up your first piece of Kraken swag. Right. And I'm really, really excited that this team is playing, that they're getting wins and that they're playing well, but that they're playing well, the right way, and they're playing well in a way that we can all really stand behind them. And they're building a good solid culture from the front office down, and we can stand behind that when we go and we talk to fans of other teams. Right, we're not trying to defend all the stuff that, say, the team we're chasing in the division right now does. Right, their fan base is constantly put in this weird situation where it's like, you got to defend your team making all these crazy moves. Kraken don't do that. They do it the right way. Ronnie Francis building a good culture there, and really, really happy about it. It makes me proud to wear Seattle Kraken stuff. It makes me proud to be a little part of everything going on around this team. And I hope it does for all of you as well. Airs, tonight's finish was insane. As much as I was hyped by the OT goals by Beniers, for me, Grew was MVP tonight. One of them has to be first star, and then probably the other one deserves to get the Davy Jones hat, right? Gonna be interesting to see who gets the Davy Jones hat. Jay, correct me if I'm wrong, but tonight was the first penalty minutes ever for Matty Beniers at the NHL level. That is correct. I'm assuming he's taken a penalty at some point before in his career, but never at the NHL level. Jake, Matty getting his first ever penalty for launching a stick into space. It's one to remember, definitely. Did anyone see the brutal no call on Berkey with about 2 minutes left from CR Bud? I didn't, but I will say that last 2 minutes of a close hockey game, it was, especially because it was tied at that point, it was gonna have to be exceptionally brutal for the refs to find their whistles for something like that. Kyle, you whiff on 100% of the shots you aren't in a position to take. Dylan, 2022. Love it, Kyle. We'll slap that on a t-shirt for our next merch offering, right? Um, Sean, hey Wenberg, shoot the freaking puck. Yes, that was brutal, especially in that first period. He had that glowing opportunity and just oh, he was doing good for a little while too. I don't know what happened. Like just got to get back to that. But man, um Dalek, speaking of Yanni Gord, I think him and TJ Oshie hate each other. The last time Oshie fought on the ice, not in preseason, was against Yanni Gord. Okay, so was there a little bit something else going on? Because I don't know. I felt like Tanev goes in for the hit on Oshie. Tanev doesn't play it the best way. Oshie definitely gets the better of him on that. I didn't think that it necessarily demanded, somebody standing up for Tanev's honor. I don't know that we'd always see that. So yes, that would, if they have a history and stuff, that would explain things. So thank you for bringing that up, Dalek. Please don't exterminate me. That would definitely explain some things because I was a little confused. I was like, "Oh, we're fighting over that." Like, I like the passion and everything from Yanni Gord. Don't get me wrong, sticking up for his line mate, but I was a little surprised. So if there is a little bit more history going on between the two, it was good and heck of a fight. Hats off to both of them. That was a nice fight from the two of them. It was really solid. Jay, there were a few wide open chances on the rebound, but thankfully Gord was eventually able to corral the puck on one of them and get it in the net. That's what I'm saying. You gotta play for rebounds sometimes. I know this team, they want to shoot high, they want to score clean goals, but it's okay to shoot for rebounds from time to time and just try to get some chaos going net front, getting the opposing goaltender's head, getting the opposing defense's head. That's partly how you build momentum. It's how you can stall a team that's in the case like tonight, at least in the first half, that's maybe out skating you, or a team like Vegas, right? It was kind of more of part of their game plan against Vegas where they wanted to do something like that. Because it keeps them back on their heels. They're having to defend. They're having to think about the fact that, hey, we got to have some defenders play back here a little bit because they're really getting things going in front of our goaltender. We can't let that happen. And I think that that's really important. And I'm happy about that. All right, we got RJ ready to go here, and I'm going to try something a little bit different. And this is RJ's for the first time hearing this as well. You know what? I think I need to add in the correct overlay. So good thing I'm doing it this way. Actually, I'm catching mistakes for myself. But we're gonna try to add RJ in here on the fly. So let's just see how this works. RJ, can you hear me? And can we hear you?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. It works clean. All right. So
let's go.
Let's go. Let's just try to keep the momentum going, like the Kraken keep win streaks going. Am I right?
Yes, absolutely. I'm so happy to join you. I was looking forward to joining this for the last half hour that you've had it going. I mean, what a game! I'll be honest, Dylan. I was getting just a little bit jealous of you getting to watch this awesome Kraken team in person these last couple games while I sat at my parents' house. Nothing wrong with that. But man, I missed seeing this team in person and just the atmosphere of everything that they can do. And this game certainly did not disappoint.
No, it didn't. And I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we've talked about. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that the Kraken talked about. I am curious to hear, what it was like in the locker room after this one and just what everybody had to say about it.
I mean, as far as the locker room reaction from the players and the coaches too, it almost felt like coming off of like a loss, but then having a big win that set everything right. Even though the last game wasn't a loss, as you mentioned, no one was really particularly happy with how they had played, and we got Yanni Gord first, and he said, "This is the way that we want to play. Like this is Kraken hockey. We want to be in games like this, and we want to win games like this. Not so much like the last game." But this is the blueprint, and Yanni seems so much happier that they won this game. He said he enjoyed this one a lot more than the last one. And so it felt like they kind of had made things right after the last game. And I mean, Yanni was pumped up. He had energy. He was ready to talk. And of course, what a game for him, scoring the tying goal on that rebound there. I mean, he was in a joking mood. He was asked, like, were you thinking rebound the whole way when Sprong came in? He said, no, I was thinking get a change. No, of course I was thinking rebound. And then on the fight, I had to ask him, like, that's a good 40-second fight. Like, that's the length of a shift. Yeah. So I asked him, how tiring is that in a fight like that? And he said, yeah, it's tiring. it's really tiring. It's tiring. he just like he just said like, yeah, he was exhausted because he said it was the end of the shift too, and he's like, yeah, I could tell this one was going for a while. So he was pretty exhausted trying to catch his breath. We got Jaden Schwartz, and he talked about like the leadership aspects of clawing back into the game, playing the right way. We got Philip Grubauer, who, I mean, not the best first period for him, but man, was he solid afterward. And he's just feeling confident now that he can make those saves. The team playing well in front of him. And then Dave Haxtell, he kind of echoed what Yanni said as far as like, this is how we need to play. We want to be in games like this. And again, he was in a fun kind of joking mood too. He was asked if that Beniers overtime winner was like a result of the 3-on-3 trading they'd done. He's like, not at all. Not one bit. That's just a guy making a play. So it was good spirits all around the locker room tonight.
Yeah, and I was just happy. One of the things I had mentioned in the Discord earlier was to shoot 5-hole, because Kraken were doing their thing, right? They were trying to go far side again, and it's just they always miss the net. I was like, go 5-hole. Let's try something different. Sure enough, ended up working out. Happy to see that one. Happy to see the super chat here from Duthan. Got lots of lucky sevens going on here, RJ,
Awesome.
as part of this super chat here. So it was a $7 super chat, 7-game win streak kept alive, 7 seconds into overtime, made a 7-year-old very happy tonight. Woo. Let's go, Duthan. Thank you so much for the super chat. And then, yeah, it was wild in this one. But this is what this Kraken team is, RJ. This is a team that, even going back to the beginning of the year when they struggled at times, the one thing we could never say about them was that, they gave up, right? And this was another example of this team doesn't give up. You have Grubauer. Yeah, maybe wasn't the best first period, but he still kept them in it, right? If it's a 3-0 deficit instead, right? Things look very different probably at the end of this one. But guys keep grinding. They find ways of shoot for rebounds. Let's create chaos in front. Try to make goals happen that way. Manufacture goals, if you will. And I love seeing this team play. I love that they played that way at home in front of the home fans, and everybody got to experience it. JT said on the broadcast that it was perhaps the loudest he's ever heard that building, RJ. Can you confirm or deny that?
I was just about to say something to that effect. I mean, this was might have been the loudest game ever here at Climate Pledge Arena. It was.
There we go.
And you can hear some effects of that as well.
Let's go.
Yeah, the crowd brought it. Let me tell you, and they're still bringing it now. That was awesome. So. Yeah, no, I agree with JT's assessment. As the Kraken were clawing back into this game, you just had the sense that it was coming, and I think that was there throughout the whole crowd. Everyone felt like a tying goal was about to happen, and then when it finally did, just the place exploded.
Yeah, it was awesome, and then obviously that momentum carries over into overtime there. Got another super chat here from Jay. Birthday wins are the sweetest. Happy birthday, Jay. I saw that a little earlier while I was scrolling down to get RJ ready. But happy birthday. Thank you for the super chats. And then, yeah, we were up to 154 again in here for a little while, RJ.
Nice.
It's just everybody's killing it. Everybody's feeling it. Everything around this team right now is just so special. Maddie keeps his point streak going. That's up to 6 games now. Obviously the 7-game win streak for the team. I felt that at the beginning of this one, and I want your opinion on this, and then maybe if anybody from the team addressed it. Kraken were getting outskated in that first period. They didn't look the sharpest. I didn't know how much of that was the effects of the insane game they played against LA on Tuesday. And even if there's still some emotional burnout from kind of, locking things down and overcoming Vegas finally, right? There's a little bit of emotional fatigue from that big win, as you'll sometimes see from teams. How much of that was going on at the beginning of this one? Because it just didn't feel right for them,
Yeah, in the first period, I think some fatigue did carry over from the last game or two. And the Kraken, I mean, as you mentioned, they looked exhausted after the last game. And I think it took them a little bit of time just to kind of get their feet under them and get going. And overall, I think they played a good first period, despite going down 2-0. Because if you look at it, at 5-on-5, it was just a very defensive, low event period. Almost nothing happened. Of note. I mean, that Farivari goal, that's a low quality chance. Grubauer just probably has to stop that. And then on the power, the PK is what it is. But at 5-on-5, I thought they were okay. But then they realized, we're in this hole now. We're down 2-0. And I love how methodical their approach was to it, especially within a period. Just keep chipping away at them. And eventually by the end of the period, you'll start to get your chances. You'll wear them down. And the Caps made it very difficult on the Kraken to do that, but they stuck with it. And I mean, this is just such a tough game to play as a team trying to come back from down 2-0. The Caps played it really well, but the Kraken were just better.
Yeah, that's the way it is, and low event is the word for it, because I mean, it took forever for one of these teams to get to double digits in shots, right? It was like over halfway through the second period before someone finally got to that point, but then finished with a flurry, because 25-23 shots in favor of the Kraken at the end of this one. That's fairly normal for the Kraken so far this season. Just going to point it out, shots within 2 of the other team for the Kraken lost the face-off battle, but won the game.
Of course,
correlation, causation, whatever it is, I just got to point it out when it's there. The PK looked terrible on that power play goal for the Capitals. It was like, that is the most tic-tac-toe goal I've ever seen from a team, but credit to the PK in this one, playing just like the team, overall, right? Not giving up, righting the ship after something like that, because overall Capitals finished only 1 for 4 on the power play.
Yeah, the next 3 PKs looked a lot better. I mean, they were just chasing the puck all over the ice on that first one. And I think there was a bit of an adjustment, or just basically coach just said, look, just settle down here, stay in your positions. And I think also the adjustment they made too, they were really respecting Ovechkin on that first PK. I mean, they were like going way over to him, making sure he didn't have any time. And then, of course, it kind of leads to that goal is as soon as he's able to get rid of the puck, you've got a 2-on-1 in front, and there's not a whole lot the Kraken can do to stop that. I think they gave him a little bit more room in the later PKs. They were lucky they didn't get burned. They needed a save from Philip Grubauer on that one that he snagged out of the air with his glove. But that's the risk reward when you make an adjustment like that. And I think they got the reward for it.
Right. Trust your goaltender, and he came up big for them there. Tammy still rocking the back the hack hashtag there. Justin, the people still down on the Kraken can't actually be watching the games, because how can you not be entertained watching this? How can you not be entertained? And how can you not still think that the Kraken are for real? Watching the different way, just these last 3 games.
How many different ways do they have to show it, right?
Exactly. You become this defensive shutdown team against Vegas. You completely break the Golden Knights. Like, they haven't looked the same after that game. Teams have realized kind of how to, you set the blueprint for how to stop their transition game. You win the highest scoring game anybody's seen in decades, right? Against LA. And then you get a game like this one where you find yourself down 2-0 at the end of the first period, and you grind and you claw and you fight your way back. And this is probably the most Kraken hockey of all of the games. But yeah, at what point do people like the Vancouver announcing crew start going like, hey, you know what? The Kraken are just for real.
Yep. No, I think it's starting to happen. Slowly but surely it's starting to happen. As long as they keep collecting points, it'll continue to happen. But good to see that respect finally start to to come to fruition there.
Yeah, and then hopefully that all translates into Matty Calder votes.
Yeah, I mean, he did lose out on Rookie of the Month for November, despite having a point per game. It happened. Logan Thompson had a pretty impressive stretch himself, but Matty's making a pretty good start to his case for Rookie of the Month in December.
Yeah, overtime game winners will definitely do that for you. Edward, I was worried they'd used up all their goals on the Kings game, but as soon as they were able to get the first one tonight, I knew they'd be able to fight back for the W. I mean, this team just has that. Like, you just know they're going to be in it till the end. It's so wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, you could feel it coming. That 2-minute push right before the tying goal, it felt like almost predetermined. It felt like it was going to happen.
Yeah, for sure. Sean, Hackstall made a good call putting Sprong out there with Gordon Tanev when they needed the tying goal, and they got it done.
Yeah, and actually Dave did talk about that after the game a little bit. He was asked a question about kind of shuffling his bottom 6, and he said, well, really just the move we made was to put Sprong up there with some of the top 6 guys and get him a shift in with those guys, because if you look at the minutes he's playing and how much he's producing offensively, he's someone that you want out there when you need a goal.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And also, I want to shout out, I said it earlier, but I want to shout it out again because we got 149 people in here. Vince Dunn on that power play, getting to the center of the ice, shooting the puck. I know it wasn't like the rebound or anything that you'd expect, but led to a goal. Let's get some more of that.
Yes, definitely making himself dangerous, putting the puck in good spots. And we did get Jaden Schwartz after the game. We asked him about that goal and whether it was kind of a plan for the rebound. And he said, look, it's we talked about getting pucks on net. Not so much that was like a planned play off the end boards like that, but that they talked about getting pucks on net, and the message sunk in with Vince Dunn.
Agreed. Sergeant Pickles here with the super chat. Duds, first period grew. PK causes anxiety. Lack of celebration. Rainiers. Studs. Gordo, small but not mighty, is now the Beniers trophy. Second and third grew. We've been talking about it in this one. Like, the 3 stars for this game should be in some order: Yanni Gord, Philip Grubauer, Matty Beniers. Like, how could it not be?
Have to be. I mean, I can't go with any off the board picks here. It was just so clear. And I don't know. Do we know who got the Davy Jones hat?
I was just going to ask you if you happen to see.
Well, I might have a little insight. So the Davy Jones hat was actually just sitting out there in the locker room when I was there. This is the first time I've seen it just sitting there, but it was right in between Donato and Gord's locker stalls. So I'm going to guess it probably went to Yanni Gord tonight.
I could see that one. My theory, this is my big conspiracy theory for the night, RJ, is that Yanni Gord was mic'd up, because I haven't seen him chirp like this in a while. I haven't seen him get involved in as much as he got involved with tonight in a while. I think he was mic'd up.
Oh man, let's hope so. That would be an amazing video if he was mic'd up. Yeah, I mean he got into it. So much going on with Yanni Gord tonight.
He was everywhere. Kraken spectator lady in front of me was at her first game, and she was jumping up and down when we got that goal and screaming, "What a night!" That's what I was saying. Games like tonight, RJ, if you just get people in the building, they become fans for life, because this is exciting, fun hockey, and it's the kind of team effort that never say die attitude.
Yep.
It just builds fans. It's awesome.
Yep. These kind of games, they make fans for life. And I'm so happy just to hear anybody who was in the building here for their first game tonight. They caught a really good one.
And so I talked about that. I'm just now getting to the comment section where people are talking about that, because I was talking like, games like this and the way the organization works, the culture of it all, right? You feel proud to be a Kraken fan and stuff. So I'm getting to the comment section for that. James, as a San Diego native, I feel so good wearing my Kraken gear now, being surrounded by Ducks. I would too, James.
Yep.
And I like this one too from Justin. When I show up at the dispensary, everyone recognizes my Yanni Gord jersey now, and I'm all the way in Illinois. People are paying attention.
What a comment.
What more do we need to say?
You can't add anything to it. You cannot beat that comment.
If the people are recognizing Justin at the dispensary, then come on, Vancouver broadcast team, get it together. Just admit that we're good. Come on. Oh man. I loved that one. Had to get that one in there. Lots to talk about. The nice call from Forsland. Pepper pot on the spot for the Yanni Gord goal.
Oh, that's a great call.
That was good. Get some mixed messaging on the transition. Some people are sad to not see the loading screen. Other people happy with the quick change on the fly. So we'll have to make a call on that for the future games.
We'll tabulate that up. We do take your feedback into account.
We do. Ayers, after so many wins so far, what do you think the game plan is for this team right now? Well, I think certainly after the last couple games, it was just to get back to maybe something more like this. Yeah. Like, let's play a little more low event and let's grind out a game.
Yeah, agreed. And that's what Dave Haxtell mentioned this morning. I think he maybe wasn't the most pleased that all the questions, after 6-game winning streak were about, okay, close it, tighten it up defensively, all these defensive mistakes. But he basically said, look, that last game was a one-off. That was one game, and it's not who we are, and it's not how we play. And yeah, we need to tighten up defensively, but that hasn't been our game. And, when you do that as a coach, you kind of put yourself out on the line a little bit there, saying, especially given the previous couple games, like the Ducks and Sharks game that got high scoring, where, you put yourself out there a little bit and your team's got to come back you up. Because, again, if this was another high scoring game, we're having those questions, and they're stronger because he just kind of, denied that. So the team came through for him, and he came through for the team.
Yeah, 1,000%. I'm looking at things here. The discipline issue, right? Capitals, you held them to 1 for 4 on the power play. That's awesome, but let's try not to give the opposing team 4 power plays, right? So that one kind of hung around, but otherwise everything else looks really solid as I'm kind of just glancing at the basic level stats here, you out-hit them. The block shots were totally in favor of the Capitals, but I think a lot of that had to do with the Kraken shooting for rebounds late in this game, trying to get something going late in this game. Just the overall flurry of offense that the Kraken were throwing at them later on in this one.
Speaking of the Cap power plays, did you guys talk about the Maddie's first career penalty?
Yes, we did mention
okay, you
that.
did. All right.
We celebrated that monumentous moment in his young career.
Okay.
And just how memorable it was. Because I don't know about like you, RJ, like how it looked where you were, but that might be the highest I've seen a stick go.
It went up pretty high, yeah. So we didn't get him after the game because he was busy doing all the TV stuff, but, obviously being the hero there. But I wanted to ask him, like, is that what you had in mind for your first career penalty? Didn't get the chance. Maybe in a couple days at morning skate.
Yes, when you lay in bed as a young child thinking of making it to the NHL, and then you think about, oh, well, what would my first penalty be? It's like,
I want to launch Anthony Mantha's stick into the netting.
Yeah, I want to try to get it stuck up there, maybe if possible. It's like maybe. Joey, are you at Climate Pledge Arena? Are you?
Yes,
RJ?
I am at Climate Pledge Arena. I'm here for all the home games, and yeah, this is real behind me. This is not artificially put on there. I can even. I was trying to think of how to interact with it to prove it, but it is real.
We've been seeing people moving around back there and stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Mo Maggot asking, is 7 seconds into overtime a record? So I don't know if asking about like an NHL record or a Kraken record. It's probably a Kraken record.
It is a Kraken record. Yeah, 100% it is a Kraken record. I can tell you that much. I don't think it's an NHL record. I doubt it.
No, because I mean they've been like goals like 3 seconds into a period and stuff before. So, but this team they want to break as many records as possible lately. They're just on this kick about it. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, what a play too off that opening face-off. Jaden Schwartz was asked, what were you thinking when you saw him come in on the breakaway right after that, winning the face-off? He said, I was just grabbing a drink of water. I was just kind of settling for the overtime. I'm getting ready for overtime. I take my drink and I look up and he's on a breakaway and he's right about to shoot. So yeah, that was really fast.
Yeah, it was very, very fast. Brian in here, I believe 6 seconds is the fastest overtime goal in NHL history, set back in 2018. So
that's
close.
1 second off.
That's actually pretty close. And it looks like a list of 5 people who have
yeah, I would imagine that would have to be a tie.
Yeah. Wow, that's a lot one. Absolutely love it. Let's see where we're going. Yeah, so in the standings now, RJ, Kraken #1 in the Western Conference in points percentage, only 2 points behind the Vegas Golden Knights now with 2 games in hand. This team is really, really, really in a solid spot.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when you bank this many points this early, it can cover for even a couple bad stretches further on down the season. This is huge. And especially finding ways to get points in a game like this where you're trailing 2-0 or trailing for most of it. I mean, this is what separates the good teams from the great teams, ones that can salvage points in a game like this.
Yeah, agreed. Like this one here from George. Definitely sleeping on the couch tonight after waking my wife up with a magnitude 6.0 earthquake during the Yanni goal and a subsequent 8.0 magnitude earthquake during the Maddie goal. Worth it. I'll pour out a Gatorade for you tonight, George. Definitely worth it, though.
Yeah, sure. Worth it for sure. Yeah, when the aftershock is bigger too, that's pretty cool.
Yep. Stratic, hope lots of people are going to the ECH conference at CPA on Saturday. I'd hype it more, but I think it's sold out. Yes. You're not going, are you, RJ?
I am going.
You are? Okay, cool.
I'm going. I'll be there. So if any of you are going and see me, say hi. Yeah, I'll be at the ECH conference. Starts early. I think it's like 8:30 in the morning. Yeah. Before on the day ahead of the Kraken Panthers game.
Yeah, and you want to just give a quick overview of what it is?
Yeah, so CHAC stands for Seattle, and then Hockey Analytics Conference. So it's a conference where guest speakers come and talk about hockey analytics, and they've got material basically for anyone, even a newer fan, all the way up to the hardcore analytics nerds. They've got something for everyone, and yeah, it's going to be a great event. Allison Lucan did a great job putting this on. I mean, you know that anything run and organized by her is going to be some real quality stuff. And a lot of great hockey analytics minds are going to come together to Seattle and put on a really good conference.
Yeah, I'm. This is one of those things I'm super super jealous about not being up there for. This and the Team USA Canada women's hockey game from a couple weeks ago. Those two are really
Yeah.
getting to me. Um, let's see. Oh, I just had one and then it went away.
That'll do that sometimes.
I know. Chat moves stuff around.
I'm sure it's going quickly tonight too. I'm sure there's a lot.
Yeah, there was a lot. Still 138 in here. I'm so happy. Thank you all
Nice.
so much for this. This is from Joey. People give me looks all the time when I wear my Beniers jersey in Maryland. Most are like, "Why don't you root for the Capitals or Penguins?" Because that's a previous generation's hockey. This is today's NHL. Matty Beniers all day, right?
Yep. Gotta be.
I say as I've got Malkin and Crosby figures looking down on me. they're gonna get me
Judging
tonight,
you.
I'm sure. Yeah. The excitement I'm feeling about the Kraken this year reminds me of how it felt when the Sonics used to get on their multiple heaters all the way in the to the NBA playoffs. From Sean there. Pardon my inability to speak for a second, Sean. Sorry about that. But yeah, I mean, whenever you got a team that you're just everything's rolling and winning games and it's exciting and it's just there's nothing better in sports, RJ, than when your team is doing well and they're winning exciting games and you're not like, I don't know. I know Kings fans got excited for some of those cup runs, but some of those cup runs were boring. This Kraken team is not boring like that. You know what I mean?
No, not at all. But I mean, this is what, keeps you coming back. And this is the best part of following a team like this when they're on a roll like this and playing exciting hockey too. And you just feel like no matter what happens, they're going to pull it out somehow. And you're just so excited to find out how they're going to do it.
Mm-hmm. Did you, more people asking how loud it was when Beniers scored?
So loud. I mean,
loud.
This place is absolutely rocking.
Do they ever in Seattle there? Because obviously, like, it's a big deal at the Seahawks games, right? How loud they can get that going and everything. Like, do they ever like put up a number, the decibel
They
reader?
did. They did at certain moments in season 1, and I will say they were not the most opportune moments, and so the number readings weren't the most impressive. And we all know how season 1 went. Like, I think that, but I would like to see them do something like that now. I think we could easily, bust those numbers out of the water, given how the team's playing now.
Yeah, exactly. And I also want to just shout out everybody who's been helping remind people to like the stream, help us get that little extra exposure. I've been seeing them all through here. I see Jay's right here in front of me, but I know other people have been doing it as well. Just want to give you guys all a shout out. Yeah, Ovechkin is one of the people with one of those 6-second overtime winners. His birthday versus the Thrashers back in the day, RJ, just to kind of an example of the time frame there from the Sandpipes. Gregory saying that's the loudest ever heard the arena in person after Beniers scored in overtime. So it's 3 people now kind of saying the same thing. I guess
cannot
gotta believe
think of a specific time I could for sure say was louder.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Jay, funny thing is this was one of the first games in a while where I didn't think I was going to get kicked out of my apartment for being too loud until the overtime goal.
Yeah, that'll do it.
So everybody was loud everywhere. That's what's going on. I know I was in the process of trying to build out the graphic to get it as ready as possible before the final score when it happened. And I just heard the excitement, kind of similar situation, right? I heard the excitement. I look up and Matty Beniers is off to the races. I'm like, all right, let's go.
You probably thought you had more time before the game was over.
I did. Robert, mind-boggling the Kraken lose the face-off battle and still win. It's their secret sauce. Like, it's the one thing we just can't argue against at this point. And I'm gonna continue to mention it just because that's been kind of part of this whole run that they've been on. But I'm not gonna dig into it at all or try to expose anything that might turn things around either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, can't mess with it too much.
Nope. Striatic. Well, I guess I should have had you guess who this was. I'm sure it would have only taken you one guess, but the comment is Daniel Sprong is a golden chain god of perseverance.
Yeah, that's Striatic.
Yes.
That is great.
Tie with the I would do season 1 all over again for this. It is so special. Like, season 1 does add to that experience. Like if you were around for that season 1 and you stuck with this team and you went through all of those nights, whether you were with us or just in general, right? It does make everything that's happening now that much sweeter.
It does. It makes it sweeter, and just thinking back to that and comparing it kind of, every day. I try and, maybe once a week, just go back through my photos to a year ago that day, and, seeing those games and remembering how it all was. It's just amazing to see that kind of year-long journey.
Yeah. The Sandpipes, at this point, do you think everybody in Seattle knows who Maddie is? Like everybody knows who Julio is?
I would hope so. I don't know if we're entirely there yet, but we got to get the word out. I mean, it's simple as that, because everybody should. I mean, it's amazing that Seattle has, these two, young phenom players in a couple different sports that, you got to like build the whole marketing thing around, really.
Yeah, and then talking about the overtime goal for Maddie, Ty, with the that charge through the faceoff with wing support is usually a set play. I'd be curious if Maddie or Berkey would admit to it. Worked fantastic, and their jumping celly was likely replicated by all.
That's interesting thought on that. I got to go back and look at it too and see.
Yeah, because it worked perfectly. Like it was in a way like a pick, right? Like
right, it was kind of a pick play.
Yeah, so I would be interested to hear if that is something that they've talked about, those two, before, of, hey, if we get, if the situation unfolds, let's maybe try to do it, because and you could totally get away with it, because if it it just looks like Burakovsky's going for the puck there.
Right, off of face-off, there's a lot of leeway that you have. I mean, you can take advantage of that. Well, we didn't get to talk to either of the two of them after this game, but I mean, it's always something, a couple days of morning skate that I can look at.
Yeah. From Omaggot here, being new to hockey, one thing I still don't fully understand is the quote jailbreak. It's just like another word for like a breakaway opportunity, or just multiple guys out on an on-man rush or something. I could only speculate as to how it actually like got there. I would just assume it's just because like a prison break, right? Like the people running away from the prison, they're in front of the guards, right? So it looks,
yeah, that's
like
what I'd imagine.
that's my guess. But that's what it means. It's essentially just another way of saying a breakaway. Sean, I swear Eberle rope-a-doped a face-off and just skated off to grab the puck from behind after giving up the face-off, almost got a goal. I think a lot of wingers, when they come in to take face-offs, do that.
Yeah, especially if the center's been kicked out, you can't really cheat it on the draw or try and play it on the edge. Yeah, I've seen some do that.
Yeah. Agreed. Stratic, it'll be interesting to hear how Seattle Sports Radio, we all know the station, handles this tomorrow. Their Kraken coverage is often pretty slight. Man, I was gonna say, like, after that game on Tuesday, like, how could it be? Like, come on, like, that game was so special. I was hoping for more national attention too, to be honest, than it kind of ended up getting. It really just shows, especially a 7:30 game. East Coast bias comes in strong for that stuff.
Oh yeah, it sure does. And yeah, I mean, I have heard, I can't really say it. I've heard some things behind the scene that some Seattle sports radio is really trying to step up their Kraken coverage, and we haven't really seen the full effect of that yet. So hopefully, that is the case. But I think they're finally starting to take notice.
Yeah, gonna do a quick last call here on comments. If I know I had to skip a ton of stuff earlier. If I skip something you really want it read, go ahead and post it now, everybody, in these last couple minutes here. I'm gonna read this one from Sean. Big difference this year compared to last is having both Dunn and Schultz contributing to offense from the blue line. Agreed. Having that second kind of more offensively minded defenders made a big difference, especially on that first unit power play too. He really helped out there a lot, bringing in somebody like Justin Schultz.
Yeah, Justin Schultz is exactly what the Kraken needed. It was a need they identified at the start of last offseason. Ron Francis looked at the free agent market, identified a specific guy that he felt could step in there, and I think it's been the perfect fit.
Yep. Edward, Golden Knights being Vegas, not Las Vegas, always felt weird to me. That's something. I have a lot of extended family that lives in Las Vegas or in the greater Las Vegas area. I gotta ask them about that. Like, is that a thing there? Do they all just call it Vegas? Like, does it bother them if one of their teams just goes by Vegas? It's something I've never asked them. The next larger family get together, I'm gonna ask them that.
I'd be curious on that one. Yeah, I know I call it Vegas more now than I did before the team arrived.
Sure.
As opposed to Las Vegas, but that's probably an effect of that.
Yeah, because it's almost like when I say Vegas, I think of the Golden Knights instantly, and if I say Las Vegas, I think of the city, right? I think of everything we
Yeah, you know
associate
what?
with the city, and I almost wonder if they did that on purpose. Like everybody, like early on, they found you say Las Vegas, everybody just thinks of the Strip, they think of the casinos and the hotels and everything. We want them to think of us, so when you say Vegas, you think
Yeah.
hockey. I could see them going for something like that. Oh my gosh. Okay. A bunch of things just popped in here.
Wow.
Victorious just coming to say, don't put the score in the title. I haven't seen the game in your videos in my recommendations. At least wait a day or two and then update it. Thanks. Appreciate what you do. All right. I was trying something new with that. I'll take that into consideration moving forward. Just trying to find ways of differentiating the stream names and keeping them concise so that they can be seen too, so they don't get too long. Grubauer was MVP tonight. Glad to see him having a successful comeback from injury from Sean there. Ty, who is your favorite or who has impressed you the most of these new Kraken players? Berkey, Schulte, Bjorkstrand, etc. They all have contributions that are notable. I mean, we just talked about what Justin Schultz has done.
Yeah.
I don't know. Andre Burakovsky has unlocked a lot of stuff on this offense, special teams or 5-on-5.
Yeah, I'm tempted to go with him. He just provides an element offensively the Kraken had, I would say, none of last year. They did not have a player even close to him. They did not even have a poor man's version of Andre Burakovsky. What he brings to the offense, that kind of shooting talent, that patience with the puck and playmaking ability all rolled into one. He's just added a whole other dimension to the offense.
Yep. Who's Benir's closest opposition for the Calder after tonight? I mean, in general, it's Logan Thompson. He's the one who won Rookie of the Month, the Vegas goaltender. It really seems like a two-man race right now between Maddie and him. So that's what's going on there. Airs, Sandpipes outside the Kings beating the Coyotes. Kraken got the best result as all other Pacific teams lost today. That's what we like to hear, Sandpipes.
Keep it going.
Mo Magid, what do you think about the level of physicality this game? Hackstall talked about physicality being a big part last game. I think it goes a big way to kind of controlling tempo, controlling pace of play, and being able to dictate, what it is that you want to do, essentially, right? Physicality is just a big part of hockey, whether it's creating chaos in net front in front of the opposing team. You can get rebounds that way by being physical and muscling your way in. If you're physical at your own net front, you can try to push them to the perimeter, which the Kraken did a great job of through the second half of the second period and third period, really limiting the Capitals' chances to get anything going.
And it brings fatigue into the game as a factor too. You're able to wear teams down over the course of a game or a period, as we saw in the second and third tonight, where the Kraken were playing very physically with the Capitals over the first half of the second and third period. And by the time the second half of the period rolled around, the Kraken just had more speed, they had more energy, they had more stamina than the Caps did.
Yeah. Daniel asking what the reaction in the building was to Eberle hitting the post.
Oh, yeah, as you'd imagine.
But cranked up to 11.
Yes.
This is from Striatic. Man, is Andre Two Rings Burakovsky the key to all this? The magic factor that makes any team he's on somehow great. I definitely think, because we've talked about this in the past with him. His role on both of those two Stanley Cup winning teams was very, very different, right? Bottom
than what it is
role
now.
Yeah. Well, and just even from each other, right? More of a bottom six role for the Capitals and then more of a top six role, or certainly a middle six role for the Colorado Avalanche last season. I do think that he's one of those guys, everybody on the team seems to really like him. He's got a personality. Everybody likes to be around him, work with him, all that kind of stuff. But he brings a lot of stuff. He's good at, driving through and being physical if he has to. He's got that awesome shot. I just do think that he's, maybe one of the more underappreciated guys around this league.
Agreed. I mean, I think it's no coincidence that he's been able to contribute in so many different ways to a couple Cup champions, and he's contributing in a whole different way to the Kraken now.
Yep. Jay, how about just the date for the title? That I can definitely do, Jay. Sandpipes, Kraken PR put up a new record, first 4-game home winning streak in history. So see, we just racking up these. It's true, racking up these records. Let's see, some more love for Burakovsky in here. Let's see. Oh, Sandpipes and our constant took 47 games for the Kraken to win 15 games last year.
Yeah,
Wow.
no, that's about the pace I think it was.
Yeah, and then Jay here with a super chat, gonna do this last one. Any thoughts on how our prospects look? Yes, so over on Patreon, link in the description below. I do monthly prospect live streams where we go over all the prospects and everything. But I will say, Kraken prospects are looking fantastic. I don't know if anybody's been covering or following what Jagger Furcus has been doing down in the WHL this year. He had what did it end up being, 19-game point streak?
It is currently 19 games. It is still active.
Yeah.
Point streak.
Yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic there. Ty Nelson's looked really, really solid playing with North Bay Battalion over in the OHL. He looks really good. We talked a lot about them this last month. I dove into all 4 of the second-round picks from this last draft, and the bottom line is everybody looks so good. Like, this team does a really, really good job with their scouting. They know what they want when they enter the draft. They obviously have certain types of things that they look for and value over other attributes for prospects, and that's smart players, players that can, whether if it's someone who's going to be, you're looking to get to score a forward, they like to find guys that like to get behind the defense and find those nice pockets, much like we're seeing the team start to do this year at the NHL level. It's really, really exciting. So yeah, not going to go into it too much right here at the end of here, but if anybody's interested, go check out the Patreon. You'll have access to all the previous live streams too, the VODs, the links are all there.
Yep.
And then you can join us for ones in the future. But we're going to do and then also, because it's December, I will start doing the scouting reports for next year's draft, starting with, of course, Connor Bedard's going to be the first one. Started working on that script today, actually, and Patreon members get that a month before it goes out to everybody else on YouTube. So gonna just point that one out and do that last bit there. Now we can go to like the actual sponsor here, RJ. We'll talk about Queen Anne Beer Hall. I mentioned it up at the beginning, but on December 7th, Queen Anne Beer Hall is going to be doing Deck the Hall dinner. And RJ, you're going to be there, and it sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, should be a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm going to be there. If you're there, come say hi and everything. It's a 5-course meal. And then, of course, each course is, paired with a beer there. It's going to be a great event. I mean, it's their kind of holiday dinner that they do. Tickets are on their website, queenannebeerhall.com. December 7th. I have that right. Yes, December 7th.
At 7.
So, and they say, tickets go fast. So make sure if you're going to go, get yours right away before it sells out.
Yeah, so this is your chance. You can go have dinner with RJ, have a night with RJ, and just support another member of the ECH community and the Queen Anne Beer Hall, who've been so awesome in supporting us and helping us out this season in a lot of different ways. So really appreciate that from them. Really appreciate everything from all of you. How many of you? Still 120 plus in here tonight. So fantastic. Thanks to everybody who dropped us a super chat. Really appreciate those as well. And yeah, just 7 games, RJ. It's just going to keep this rolling. We got Florida on Saturday. Let's go.
We've had some fun games against the Florida Panthers in the past. Looking forward to another one. It's going to be really fun. Right back at it in a couple days. I'm so excited.
Yep, me too. So, all right, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us, and have a good rest of your night.